Hey Aki. So, I'm doing this video thing for you. I build my lather on my face, which I recommend you don't do because it's rougher on the skin. It's nice, you get a lot of exfoliation, especially if you're using a boar brush like I am today. But it's, yeah, rougher on your skin. Abby doesn't do it either. I'm just loading up my brush right now. I'm using a large Italian boar brush. It's called an Omega. I forget, it's the Pro 48. It's a big fucking boy. I normally use Badger brushes, but screw it. If you're hearing anything in the background, it's the new Exploring series video. Exploring some SCP shit. Okay, that's probably more than enough. So this is a boar brush, which is nice and cheap, but the issue is they're scratchy. So that's why I didn't recommend it for you. They get nice and soft once they're broken in more, and I kind of like the scratch. It feels nice on the face, but for you, because you have such sensitive skin, I'm gonna say no. Don't do that. Stick with the synthetics. They're very soft. Don't require much effort, and they should work well. This is a fancier artisan soap, so it's gonna lather up better than yours. But this one cost like $40 Canadian, whereas yours cost probably like $8 US. So once you get it the other thing is building the lather on the face is going to make the lather thicker because it's harder to introduce as much water and air to it. So that's why mine is going to look thicker and whatever. So I'm just going to go over some basic technique stuff. Once you've got the lather once you've got your lather formed, you should kind of paint it on like I've been doing like that. You can do some scrubbing in circles like this, but mostly you kind of want to be painting on, especially if you've already built it otherwise. Once you've got a nice thick protective layer like this, you're going to get your razor, run it under some warm water. Doesn't really matter, it's just purely a comfort thing. It feels nicer if you run it under some warm water. And then you're going to get the angle. So the proper angle is about 30 degrees, which is like this. The easy way to find that, so I'm just going to clear a spot on my face, is to put it on like that, and then kick it until you can just about feel the blade. And then that's about how steep you want it. Yeah, you're just kind of. This is the with the grain pass. For me, so I'm just going down, which is how my hair grows on my face. On my neck, it actually grows in, so this is technically across the grain on my neck. But yeah. In between passes, I like to rinse my face. I'm not actually planning on wearing this shirt. I just have it on so you don't see my tits. And then, so you've done your first pass. Most of it's still there, but you've gotten it down a bit. And you're just going to paint more soap on. I like this soap, it's nice, it's got a lot of super fats in it, so it feels really good on your skin, but I also have fairly sensitive skin and this is irritating it, which is annoying. I think it's the fragrance in it though, because the aftershave is also irritating. So we're going to do across the grain, which for me is like that. You don't have to do long strokes like this. I just prefer to. Most people do kind of shorter ones. Okay. This leads to an interview between a Foundation agent and an ACOT archivist, as the archivist says that in their shame, they deceived the Foundation. The ACOT are out of time, and death is a long-lost dream at this point, with the only real hope being an act of suffering. The problem that needs to be solved, then, is time, which only prolongs the suffering, especially thanks to the corpse father. The ACOT need to bring the forward march of time to a stop to prevent their final defeat. So they plan on using Garion's arc to interrupt the flow of time in this area, putting them all in temporal stasis. The archivist says that whatever happens outside of their bubble will mean nothing to them, and perhaps they'll stay in that interrupted state until the end of the universe, and perhaps then they shall find reprieve. Alright. The agent asks if this is the same machine that created the ACOT. You also don't have to go as quick as me. I've got experience with this, and I've used this particular razor a whole bunch. So this is now against the grain, which, as I said, along my neck and jawline is like that.
The archivist then pauses and asks not to be judged, because they have known nothing but agony and fear, and they are afraid and cowardly and just want to die. The archivist then says that the ark isn't going to be used to interrupt their time. It's going to interrupt our timeline, the Foundation's present. The awki will prevent us from ever experiencing the end of death, so that no one will suffer, and the awki will never be created.
Okay. So now, that's my 3 passes done, but there's probably some spots you missed, so I just like to kind of massage my face. Get more water in. Wow, I look like shit. Get more water in and kind of feel for the trouble spots, so I know I usually have to do another pass on my sideburns going against the grain up like that. And there's a couple spots on my neck I've missed. So
This leads to the establishment of 2 Scranton-Lang energized nullifiers at the site of the temporal anomaly.
just going to
At the same time,
re-lather up on those areas. You see the lather's a lot less thick than the first one. That's just because most of the soap has been used up. And it does not really matter as much because you've already got rid of most of the stubble, so it doesn't need as much of the lubrication to glide it. But what you can do is if you feel you need more, you can kind of squeeze the soap out of your brush. Or just reapply more from your bowl since you are going to be using your bowl. Okay. Alright. And yeah, this is the third use I've got with this blade, and it's perfectly fine. This is one of those Astras, the green ones, and they're fine. They're not my favorites, but they're perfectly serviceable. Okay. So I think that's about it. Got it mostly sorted. And then, doesn't really matter so much since you have a synthetic, but natural brushes will get really gross if you don't ensure they're thoroughly rinsed out. So I just do that. Rinse it out thoroughly. Flick it out and then squeeze out the hair towards the tip. If you want, you can go swirl it on like a towel or something. You're not supposed to, but it's not going to hurt it if it's a synthetic. Synthetics are generally regarded as more chill and harder to fuck up. Okay. Next step is splash your face with cold water. And then towel down, pat dry.
While their overall legacy is much shorter compared to that of the free peoples of Middle Earth.
Pat it dry, don't wipe, pat it, because that runs the risk of opening up your pores. Get your aftershave. For you, I'd recommend just going down to your drugstore and getting some witch hazel. If you find an alcohol-free one, it shouldn't irritate your skin very much, and it's just really, really good for your skin. This is like a branded aftershave, and it's going to burn, so you're going to see some weird faces from me. Splash a couple drops in, rub it on your hands. And then rub it all in your face.
The Harfoots, the Stewars, and the Fallopides.
Alright, and you're done.
Facial hair and an affinity for water and swimming.